Hey guys, welcome to the Hilliams podcast, and today we're going to be going over Michael Jordan's career stats and comparing it to other GOAT candidates. So we're here with Matthew. Say hey, Matthew.
Hey guys.
And today, basically, Matthew is going to react to his stats and stuff. So we've been watching The Last Dance. It's a pretty good documentary. We definitely recommend it for you guys. But so this is just Michael Jordan's, overall stats. Okay, he's a 14-time All-Star. He's a 3-time steal champ. That means he's had the most steals in the league for 3 times. 11-time All-NBA. He was the rookie. He was on the All-Rookie team, and he was the Rookie of the Year. He's a 5-time NBA MVP. He's a 10-time scoring champ, 6-time NBA champ, 9-time All-Defensive champ, 3-time All-Star MVP, 6-time Finals MVP, and the 1984 Rookie of the Year. I know I already said that, but it's okay. He played for the Wizards and the Bulls. He played 1,072 games, and he averaged this is ridiculous, guys. He averaged 30 points for his entire career. 5.3 assists over his career, and 6.2 rebounds over his career. That's pretty good. His free throw percentage over his career was 83.5%. His 3-point percentage, he had a 32.7% 3-point field goal. That's not good for today's standards, but back then that was pretty good.
As many shots as he shot, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and he had a 50% field goal. So, Matthew, what do you have to say about those stats?
Well, it's definitely better than most people who they call the GOAT, like Lebron, and well, I don't know if it's better than Wilt, but he had better scoring than Wilt and better assist numbers.
Yeah.
And he also retired twice, and even when he was like 38, 39, he was averaging 20 points a game.
Yep.
With the Wizards.
Now, definitely in second place is probably either Kareem or Wilt, in my opinion, because Wilt has so many NBA records. It's kind of ridiculous. And Kareem is probably the greatest college basketball of all time, player of all time. He was a really good player. But I have to say Michael Jordan is better. If you just look at the all-time stats,
And you got to remember when Wilt played, Wilt was basically the biggest dude out there, most strongest, best athlete.
Yeah, he was 7'1" against a bunch of 5'2" white guys.
Yeah.
But the thing about Wilt, though, he was kind of insane. So Wilt, a crazy coincidence, though, he averaged the same amount of points in his career than Michael Jordan, and 22 rebounds. That's insane. 22 rebounds over your career.
23.
22.
22.9.
Yeah, 23 basically. And he had.
I think he only won 2 NBA championships.
Yeah.
He didn't really carry his team.
And he played around the same number of games than Michael Jordan. He didn't have as many MVPs. He was an All-Star MVP. He had a lot of All-NBAs. He was also a Rookie of the Year. And he was a Finals MVP, and he was a 2-time All-Defensive team. So, he was really good. But if you think about it, time that they played and the times, it was a lot different. Basically, we're going to get into Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in a bit. But, yeah, so basically, Michael Jordan, in his new documentary, it's basically it's called The Last Dance, and it's basically called, they went on the 1998 season, his final season for the Bulls. They filmed it, and as they filmed it, they documented his you know
Basically behind the scenes.
yeah, behind the scenes. So he actually did play in the minor leagues baseball for like the White Sox's AA team, and he had a exhibition game with the White Sox that he played in, and I think he got a base hit. You know, Michael Jordan was not bad at baseball at all, but he was a bit hyped up.
He worked hard at it, but he didn't have enough time to work at it.
Yeah, exactly. But when he played for the Washington Wizards, this is basically what I want to talk about. So, this is why I think that he's the greatest to ever do it. Okay? Because when he played for the Wizards, he averaged just about as many points as he did for Chicago, and dude was like 40 years old, you know? Like, he was real old. You know, he was in really good, but he was dunking on guys, and he was like 40.
Right at that age, you can't carry a team.
Yeah, but he was getting injured a lot, but he was still like insane. So, when Michael Jordan was in the Chicago, he three-peated twice. Okay. He won 3 NBA championships in a row 2 times. And he was like really good, obviously. And Michael Jordan played for UNC, University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. He was really good there too. He was an All-American, but he was definitely not as good as he was in the NBA in college. He was an All-American, but in college, I would have to say Kareem had the greatest college career. Michael Jordan didn't, even though Michael Jordan was really good. But I don't think that Michael Jordan was like the best to ever do it in college. But I don't even think he is the best to ever play at UNC.
No,
like college stats wise, I'd say James Worthy probably was, or somebody else maybe, but Michael Jordan, you know, he played small forward and shooting guard. Most guys would think that like a point guard or a center would do the best, and they said that he was too skinny. Can you believe that, Matthew? Said he was.
Well, he was kind of skinny going into the league, and then after he played the Pistons, he got jacked.
Yeah, and
but he was still strong for his size.
Mhm. Now, Matthew, what do you think about Michael Jordan being not only a great offensive player but a great defensive player?
LeBron. If we're talking about LeBron and Michael,
Yeah,
who most people would say are 1 and 2. LeBron is a good defensive player, but has he been a good defensive player throughout his whole career?
Yeah.
Michael Jordan was consistently a good defensive player, and he brought it every single night. LeBron, he doesn't do it he doesn't when he has to. He doesn't have to. He's like, oh, just go ahead and score.
Mhm. Now,
so that's what I think about him being a good defensive player.
Yeah, so, and basically I say that MJ, in like the era that he played in an era that was like, it was very, very competitive. They were fighting a lot. They were doing like hand checks. It was going crazy. And basically MJ had to play through that, and he still dominated.
So one player I want to talk about who's not mentioned in the GOAT conversation because he didn't play a long career, but if he did play a long career, he would probably be in the GOAT conversation.
Yep.
And the reason he didn't play that many games or that long of a career is because of drugs and injury.
Mm-hmm.
And this dude was Michael Jordan's inspiration. So listen to this. At NC State, he beat the UCLA Bruins to win the national championship. UCLA had gone 3 straight seasons with undefeated, and I think it was like 7 straight championships or something. I may be wrong on that, but then he was a beast in college. Even who was the UCLA coach?
I have no
I
idea.
think it was Walton.
Yeah,
He
Bill
said
Walton.
David Thompson was the best basketball player he's ever seen. So David Thompson, at 21 years old, averaged 26 points a game, 1 block, 1.5 steals, 4 assists, and 6 rebounds as a rookie at 21 years old.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty insane.
And then he averaged basically over a 6-year stretch, 26 points, 26 points, 27 points, 24 points, 21.5 points, 25.5 points.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not as good as Michael was, but
pretty. If he played his entire career out, he might be up there in the GOAT conversation, definitely. And Michael Jordan based his game off of David Thompson, too.
I mean, they said Thompson could touch the top of the backboard.
Yep. I think he's, I don't know if he's the all-time or second all-time in a vertical leap in the NBA history. So that's pretty cool.
I think if he would have played longer, he definitely could be up there in top 10.
Yeah. So let's go into LeBron James' stats. He's a 16-time 16-time NBA All-Star, 3-time NBA champ. Michael Jordan has 6-time All-Defensive Team. He's 3-time MVP. Doesn't MJ have 6, right? No, he's a 3-time All-Star MVP, 4-time normal MVP. MJ has like 6, I think. He was the scoring. He has 1 scoring championship, 15-time All NBA. He was the Rookie of the Year, and he has 3 Finals MVPs. So he's played 1,258 games. That's more games than Michael Jordan, by the way. He's averaging 27.1 points, less than Michael Jordan. 7.4 total rebounds, more than Michael Jordan. And 7.4 assists, more than Michael Jordan. But if you think...
So what I will give LeBron, what he's better at than Michael Jordan, is getting to the finals, better athleticism, I would say, and carrying a team.
Yeah, because MJ had a lot of help with Pippen and Rodman.
But Michael knew how to win and get the best out of his teammates.
And Michael
doesn't get the best out of his teammates.
MJ thought about his team. LeBron thought about himself. The reason why LeBron went to Miami was so that he could get a championship. Michael Jordan stayed in Chicago his whole career because he was thinking about the team and how the team should do. So that's
you talk about loyal. He retired because the owner didn't want to keep his coach.
Yep.
LeBron wants to get rid of his coach and coach his own team.
Yeah, exactly. And anyway, LeBron plays. He plays. In my opinion, he's like a point guard that's classified as a forward. He's like insane at both. So this season he's averaging 10 assists a game. That's the most assists he's averaged in his career. That's pretty good for a forward. But if you think about it, he takes the ball up the court every time, so he's not really a forward.
And he has another MVP candidate right beside him.
And Anthony Davis. Now, Michael Jordan had Scottie Pippen, who was just a great team player, and he was great overall. And he had Dennis Rodman, who was he's up there in the greatest defensive.
Basically just play defense, get a rebound, and give it to us.
Dennis Rodman is probably one of the greatest rebounders of all time, and he's one of the greatest hustle players of all time. Like, he didn't care what he did on offense. He just cared about getting the ball to his teammates. And he was kind of weird, but we're just gonna put that aside, eh? But LeBron, he's had an outstanding career.
He's still got more in the tank.
Yep, and LeBron is like a fine wine. He gets better as he gets older. LeBron is 6'9" and 250 pounds. MJ 6'6". MJ was 6'6" and like 200. So yeah, and LeBron James got his number from MJ. That's one thing that
MJ was his favorite player.
Yeah, and LeBron. But in my opinion, okay, the player that plays most like Michael Jordan is Kawhi Leonard. Right now, yeah, because he loves his mid-range. He loves palming the ball. He's great at defense. And he has the only thing that's not like Michael Jordan is it's like in 2K, but Kawhi Leonard didn't spend any VC on a dunk package because he just like one hand puts it in there.
I say the player has to like amount of hustle. Now this dude likes to stat pad but he has the same intensity and hustle as Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook he hustles a lot. He's actually an insanely good player in my opinion. I used to watch his highlights all the time, and I tried to model my game after him. I don't really anymore, cause I like watching smaller guys because I'm playing against older opponents now. So I like watching Isaiah Thomas and all those guys. But yeah. Now let's talk about come up. Okay, come up. So LeBron went to St. Vincent. Is that right?
Yeah.
St. Vincent, and or something. It's something like that. And anyway, he was like really good in college. He was really hyped up. Number one player.
Playing college.
Yeah, he was playing in college courts, and they were televising his high school games. But MJ played for a small high school in Wilmington, North Carolina, called Laney High School. He played baseball. He played basketball. He got cut from his varsity team and had to play JV his freshman year. And he came up. He worked all that summer. And he made the varsity team, and he was really good. And he got signed to UNC. He played 3 years there. He was an All-American, and he won a national championship at UNC. Now LeBron went to the NBA straight out of high school, which I think is pretty respectable.
This is what I'm going to compare them to. Michael Jordan, when he first entered the league, he was the number 3 pick. But he didn't have a lot to live up to.
Yeah.
Do what you were drafted to do. LeBron had an expectation to be the greatest of all time going into the league.
Yeah.
And he didn't have preparation going to college and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So LeBron has lived up to his hype.
He has.
And he stayed that way for his whole career. Now, Michael Jordan, when he got up to his prime, like, basically MVP, championships, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
When he came back, people expected the same thing over and over again, even though he had built his body for baseball, had not played basketball competitively in 2 years, or a year and a half.
He still did it.
He comes back and does it again.
In his, fourth game back, he had a game winner.
Michael Jordan did better living up to his expectations just because he wasn't expected to do that.
Yeah.
LeBron is expected to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Michael wasn't expected to do that until he was expected and he did it again.
Yeah. Now, let's also talk about the play, like the level of play and the era that they played in, right? A lot of people will talk about this, but LeBron James, LeBron is playing in a league where there's not really much defense, no hand checks. and the slightest.
Basically, defensive player of the year is the center.
Yeah, the slightest gesture of the hand is a technical foul. Red. Yeah, and so, but in Michael Jordan's day, there's the malice at the dang palace where they like fought fans and stuff. There was hand checking. You were allowed to put your hands on the guy to like let him. Yeah, and centers were not the dominant defensive players like they are now. It was the normal role players that knew how to play defense and were stopping the ball. And that's really important for the GOAT conversation. You got to think about the era that they've played in.
Yeah, that's kind of like where people get caught up in the GOAT conversation. Like, if you would say who wins 1-on-1, well, you don't really know because of the era they played in.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Kareem is talking about the best of their era, which I respect that.
Yeah.
So you can't really say who the GOAT is. There's going to be bias in it every single time.
Mm-hmm.
But if there was one, I would say it's Michael, just because of how he came up into the league, what he did, and retiring twice and still putting up numbers that are unbelievable.
Yeah. So, Matthew, now, this is our last section. What do you think about all the big sports leagues coming back into the picture during coronavirus and quarantine?
I'm disappointed that fans still can't go watch the games.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's necessary though.
Yeah.
And I think it would be good for sports just to come back. You can watch it on TV because everybody's at home right now, unless you're working. All the kids are at home right now.
Yeah.
If you want to, and baseball, they don't have primetime hours for games like Sunday night.
Yeah.
Or if they do have a Sunday night game, it's on ESPN instead of like ABC, CBS, NBC.
Yeah.
And they like to play. There's so many games in the MLB. They have it during the day. Well, all the kids are at home during the day right now.
Yeah.
So this is the perfect time for baseball to come back.
Yeah, perfect.
It's a great chance for them to grow because kids are at home right now. MLB plays a lot of games during the day that a lot of kids can't watch because they're at school unless it's summertime.
Yeah. Now, Matthew, one more thing. What do you think about Elon Musk naming his son?
He's an idiot.
All right. Well, I guess that's all that we need to hear from that.
One more thing is Los Angeles County. They pushed their stay-at-home order until July.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been hearing reports that some teams might be playing home games in another location.
And that's smart. That's a smart thing to do. Okay. So, guys, I just want to thank you guys for listening to this. And so this is our verse of the week. It is Psalms 5:3. In the morning, Lord, you hear my voice. In the morning, I lay my requests before you and wait expectantly. So basically what that means is, when you pray, it says, Lord, you hear my voice. So that means that he hears you every time that you pray. And he usually answers things in unexpected ways. He answers things in the way that he wants it, not that you want it. So if you don't get something that you prayed for, don't fret, because he answers things in the way that he wants it, not in the way that you may want it. And some things may come later and some things may come earlier. And so that's our verse of the week. And I just want to thank you guys so much for listening to this. And follow our Instagram and Twitter. And leave us a comment. And thank you for watching. Bye.